I spent 100 days in No Rest for the Wicked. It is an action RPG game where I play as a Serum, a member of a group of mystical warriors sworn to defeat the Pestilence, our enemies. This time, I'll be committing myself to being an assassin, putting most of my points to agility, and wielding a bow and a dagger. Will I be able to defeat every boss in the game, or will I fail? Let's begin. Alright, I spawned in the shallows. I have to gather all the resources around me in order to survive this dark and brutal world. I was lucky enough to find an axe early on the game. Now I can start chopping some wood. These are gonna be important in rebuilding the town we're gonna settle in. I then spoke with Captain Talvik here so I can get a quest towards Sacrament. He was the captain who was smuggling us to Sacrament, but our ship met a bad ending and it sunk. For an assassin run, we started out with a magical wand. I'm not very happy with this. But we'll eventually find the dagger and the bow that we need to start our adventure. Since I know that this staff doesn't really have a sharp blade, I sneakily attacked this guy and clobbered him. But my damage was not there at all. But good thing we have magic with this one, even if we're not a magician. I need to work on parrying attacks. As you can see, I don't have any HP left. Upon looting some treasures, I found myself a experience potion. And nice, we can level up with this. I reached level 2 by drinking the potion, and for now decided to put all my stats on health as we didn't have a dagger or a bow yet, so agility wouldn't make a difference right now. Upon climbing that tower, I found this guy with a giant axe. I was scared to death. But worry not, with our magical staff, we can convert our HP into focus and cast Firebolt. And I did this again and again until this guy died. We finally looted a melee weapon, the wooden sword. Finally, something that's not magic, something that's like, you know, an assassin-like weapon, a sword, but this is wood though. Continuing my journey, I climbed this tower with some vines growing on them and sneakily try to assassinate this pirate right here. I then raided Mariner's Keep, hoping to get a dagger somehow. I'm currently really rusty on parrying attacks of the enemies, but I'll eventually get the hang of it again. And finally, after vanquishing this foe, I have looted a dagger, the hunter's knife, but it needed 3 agility, so I need to wait till I level up before I can equip this. I got myself a pickaxe and continued my journey looking for treasures, mining for ores, and chopping down trees. Every action I have right now will be very important later on. I also received the Crow Ring, which gains 2% health per damage dealt. It has a penalty of reducing my HP though by 27%, so I don't really want to use it. Alright, I didn't mention, but these things are called Serum Whispers. They're basically the save points of the game. So I found another one going through the area, and here is another enemy type we're gonna fight. It's not really hard as long as you know, parry. Bam! After killing this enemy, I finally reached level 3. That means we can add 3 points to dexterity, and we can finally wield our dagger, but after killing this guy. Also, there's a key here to unlock a door where a blacksmith is being bullied. We're gonna be saving him. With our dexterity on 13, we can finally wield the hunter's knife. We just need the bow and our weapon of choices are complete. I also obtained the mess hole key from a dead guard right here. Now we can try and save this blacksmith. I dived in with my skill, which did really nothing. Anyways, I tried killing these guys with charge attacks. It should work, I guess. There's 3 of them. I'm naked with a dagger, a small dagger on hand. You can't really, you know, I can't really tank everything they're trying to do to me. I need to kill them one by one, backing off, charging my attack, or stabbing them when I have the chance. And with that, we have defeated the 3+1 extra enemy and saved the blacksmith from being bullied. Looking at the blacksmith store, he actually had a bow. I had to sell a bunch of stuff so I have enough money to buy that bow. And I'm not risking enchanting the dagger as it's not really common. It's not really sold in shops. So I need to just manually slot gems and enhancements on it. I tried the bow in action and it only dealt 4 damage, but it's good for finishing off monsters. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get really strong once we have a lot of dexterity. Because the bow procs with dexterity, meaning the more dexterity I have, the more damage we have. Here we have another showcase for the bow. 3, 3, 3. The damage is so cute, but don't worry, we'll get stronger. As I continued my adventure, we finally arrived at a place called the Orban Glades. Here, there will be a bunch of mushrooms, herbs, ores, trees that we can farm. I'll be coming here to get a bunch of those as I need them to repair Sacrament, the place we're going to. Here we can see another whisper. It means a boss fight is close by. But before I actually fight with the boss, I decided to, explore the entire Orban Glades first so I can level up, get some items, and hopefully become strong enough to fight the boss, not doing only 4 damage or 3 damage. I mined some ores, I digged up for some clay, and I chopped some wood. If you think about playing this game, there's this area right here that you can access. There's gonna be 2 enemies guarding this place, but you can just run past them if you don't find fighting them. But you can also lure this archer to shoot the warrior in the back. It's just like what I'm doing right now. I don't know why there's friendly fire, but it's pretty great. Now we can take care of them both easily. Oh my god, I hate this archer. There's a bunch of goodies here, like chests containing maybe equipments that you can wear before the boss fight. I got one that increased my armor by 10. That should be very helpful. Also, this mushroom shrine looking place where there's 2 digging spots, 2 trees you can chop, and a bunch of herbs and mushrooms you can get here to make food so you have potions before the boss fight. And finally, if you swim down here, you'll encounter an area where there's also a tree, a mushroom, and some iron ores. And a chest, of course. There are also a bunch of goodies to be found on top of the Orban Glades. 2 treasure chests, a bunch of trees, a clay spot, and just monsters or enemies in general that can give experience so you can level up. Got myself a prisoner helmet that increases my armor by 4. You know what? Whatever. I'm happy. I have armor. I also face some ninja lizards up here. They're pretty annoying to fight with if you haven't had the experience to fight them. But once you're used to them, they're kind of easy to fight, I guess. But I was horrible in this fight. Very horrible. But I did parry that thing, but he just dodged like that. Another one. We leveled up to 4. How I distribute my stats is I basically add some to agility, but once there's no more attribute bonus, I try to put something on my health and equipment load. I wanted to survive, not just deal massive damage like a glass cannon. But yeah, I want survivability, so health is really essential. Also, the giant monsters up in these glades, and they're kind of difficult to fight. I hate them. But their attacks are very slow, and you can easily parry them if you're good, unlike me. So with some preparations like cooking mushroom soups and looting everything in the Orban Glades and killing everything here, it's finally time for the boss fight. we got the legendary sword, which is worth 1 silver if we sell it, since we don't really use it. After defeating the boss, we now gain the entrance to Sacrament. Talk to Carolyn right here, and her husband is missing, so I need to look for him. And his name is Gordon. He was missing somewhere in the shallows. Went to the enchantress to see if my bow can be powered up. I enchanted it and I only got like item weight decrease by 28%. Kinda bad. It was 1 silver wasted. Inserted a bunch of gems on my hunter's knife. I inserted a chipped diamond to gain more experience and a chipped topaz to gain focus on damage dealt, as well as something that would increase my damage by 14%. Pretty good. I also enchanted an armor of mine since I still have 1 extra silver, and the enchantment is pretty decent. 22% healing effect. It's crazy. I interacted with the Serum Whisper, and now I have access to fast travel. Then I headed to the rockery. Meet with Rowan and the Watcher. These 2 NPCs will be responsible for giving me extra power, like unlocking more inventory slots, more equipment slots, more ring slots, and other slots. For the first slot, I unlocked the ring slot, as I'm assuming I'm gonna be receiving a bunch of rings later on the game. I then donated a bunch of my pine wood and copper ore to Danis so he can start rebuilding or repairing Sacrament. I especially prioritized the smithy, the crafting shack, and the enchantment shop. I then went to another realm in order to grind more wood, more iron ores, and more clays. Also, this is really good to farm a lot of Plague Ichor to unlock more slot on our inventory. We just need to kill the boss again. Go through everything again. Basically, this is a grind, but this is an easier grind than waiting for the enemies to spawn on my original world. I went through all the trouble of going to this place again, and I got myself another legendary blade. That's another silver coin we got. Inside Sacrament, I bought a bunch of gems. They're gonna be useful in infusing to our equipment. Always nice to have them rather than lacking them when you need them. For now, I unlocked some resource slots as my inventory has been getting full of gems. Then went to my original realm and donated all the materials I gained from the other realm, starting my fix on the smithy, the enhancement shop, and the crafting shack. I then enchanted a bunch of armors from the loot I got on the other realm. And I got some decent ones, I guess. For the knife, not so decent. So I kept the normal knife with just infused gems. I was hoping I can get a good enhancement on a knife. But the blacksmith doesn't sell any knives aside from dual knives. It would have made my life way easier in just, enhancing random knives. So I went to another realm again as I was still needing some pine woods, iron ores, and clay. The grind never stops. I killed the boss again. Way easier this time since I'm very used to this attack pattern by now. And got another legendary blade. Why am I so lucky? But yeah, we don't need it. So I'm just gonna sell it to the NPC. I finally got my 3rd ring slot. The ring slot is very essential as it gives like stat boost. And by the way, each realm has a different challenge or bounty. So it's always nice to do bounties that needs mushrooms or mushroom soup as I have too much of it. Got myself an agility ring from doing that 1 challenge. Actually, I already had an agility ring. Anyways, we have 2 now. Let's go. And with that, we have successfully made upgrades to all of Sacrament. By that, I mean like everything is tier 2 now. The next thing we need are from the next area. I took a break and came back once the builder was done repairing all the shops to tier 2. And now I have access to tier 2 equipments on the blacksmith shop. But there's really nothing I can wear right now because the requirement is either level 11 or I don't have the stat for it. For the crafting shack, however, we can now buy the Yun longbow, but it needed like 22 agility before we can use it. So about 1 more level, around level 8, I will have like 22 agility. Upon checking the merchant, I found a jade ring that had like 5% stamina regen on damage dealt. So I really checked my inventory if there's anything I can sell, anything at all. I would sell everything for that ring. I sold my mushrooms, my herbs, more of my mushrooms, some of my food just to have enough money to buy that ring. Now I have a 5% stamina ring, but it requires level 11. I can't use it yet. I then went to another world again because I needed more pine wood and iron ores. There are still 2 shops that I need to upgrade. I especially need clay right now as I need a bunch or a whole lot of them for the tier 3 upgrade. The Yon bow has a skill called Cone Shot. It uses 100 focus. But the damage is amazing. It's like a freaking shotgun, but arrows. It just dealt so much damage and this boss HP just went from 100 to 20%. This is the 4th legendary in a row. What the heck? The merchant on this realm, he was selling an agility ring. So I immediately bought it and now we have a 3rd one. Agility rings aren't really OP. But it's really nice to have movement speed, and I don't really like the crow ring that much since it decreases like 27 of my health. With all that done, I donated all of my clay to Danos, as well as keeping all the pine wood I have currently and iron ores, as we still haven't unlocked the 2 shops we need to unlock. It was finally time to resume our journey in our main world. Currently, I'm gonna be going to this cave glowing in blue. Inside this cave was Marcus. He's gonna be our future potion seller in Sacrament. But we need to prove ourselves to him first. He said we need to discover a certain flower in this cave. I honestly did not expect that the monsters here would be tough now. There's this knight with a lance and a giant shield. It's gonna be pretty hard to deal with him, but as long as I parry their attacks, their shields are nothing. If I parry their attacks. Interacting with the flower puts me in a state where I can see illusions that are kind of real because like I can step on them, like the stair right here. So there's stuff that can't be seen by the normal eye, but if you're a Serum, you can interact with it. If you're a normal human, you would die to the poison. I honestly hate this quest as I feel like my adrenaline going up because of all the obstacles it has. After going through all those obstacles, there was this giant monster that dealt really massive damage and I really hate it. I can't really beat it, so I just, ran away. I reached the goal and the magical thing that's inside me is now gone. I then did a leap of faith from this waterfall and safely landed in water. Now I had finished the quest and Marcus said he will be moving to Sacrament once I'm out of here. I then went to Danos and upgraded the alchemy stand to tier 2. I then went down to the shallows as I need to save... You remember Carolyn, the innkeeper? I need to save her husband. He was stuck here somewhere in the shallows. I totally forgot, but these big monsters spawn in the shallows now as part of the bounty quest. So I'm gonna take care of them.
Piece by piece.
That was kinda a really hard fight compared to the boss. And now I completed my quest. Anyhow, I found Gordon at the bridge where we encountered that guy with an axe in the earlier stages of the game. Just needed to find a way for him to escape this place. Basically a ladder right there if you can see it. Encountered the big guy again, but this time it feels like it's a weaker version of him. I easily took care of him. Easily. On the door, which would likely take me to where the ladder was. But there were a bunch of enemies guarding this area. Felt really weak though, because maybe I'm comparing them to the large monsters I fought earlier. There was also a large monster guarding here, but it's not really a problem now, I guess. I just hit slash run, hit slash run. Pretty easy, you know, it's easy strat, right? To survive and to kill the enemy. Slash them with a dagger and hit them with a bow. Finally, I reached the area where I can help Gordon. So I kicked down the ladder and now we have finished the quest. And he will now appear in Sacrament with his cooking shop. And here he was, selling some cooking goods. We need to upgrade his shop though, so he have more food for us to buy and more recipes. Good thing I already farmed out all the materials needed to upgrade his pantry. I then went ahead and enchanted a random knife I got from my adventures. And looking at the stats, oh my god, we have a good knife to use. The 3% health on damage dealt was the best thing you could ever ask for a knife. I can now have something that has lifesteal so I can maintain my HP. The effect also applies to our bow. So every time we shoot an arrow, we also regenerate some HP. I then infuse it with a chipped topaz because it has like focus % on damage dealt. I then upgraded my knife to the maximum amount I can. Currently, we don't have access to any of the wolf claws until we do a certain quest. Alright, it was now time to continue our quest. For now, I went inside this cave. I was looking for a certain warlord to defeat that was plotting to take over Sacrament. Just look at my knife on action. It's blazing in fire with a lot of damage. Let's go. Then spotted another Serum whisper. It means he was close. We were close to a boss fight with a save point around. And upon entering this gate, an interaction occurred. It means the boss fight is inevitable.
To the slaughter. I wonder, by the time we breach Sacrament's gates, will anyone be left inside? You're fighting for a dead man. Ellsworth can't protect Sacrament. He can't protect anyone.
Well, he ran away. And that was a pretty fast fight. I guess I'm very strong right now. I then went to town and interacted with a bunch of NPCs to proceed with a quest. I had to let a certain prisoner out so he can lead me the way to wherever Derek the warlord is. And this was Ratigan, our ticket to finding where that warlord who ran away from us is. But before that, I decided it was time to fight a certain boss in the war room in Sacrament. It was this boss right here. I thought that I could maybe do a stealth attack on it, but it doesn't work. So I just engage in battle normally. After defeating it, I gained a level and a plague ichor. Now it was time to defeat and bully this boss in the other 4 realms. I killed it about 4 more times. I then turned in all the plague ichor I had, unlocking a bunch of resource slots and equipment slots. I bought the whole set of tier 2 equipment from the blacksmith. Hope to be lucky on the enhancement it could get. Honestly, the armor seemed pretty decent at first, but the stamina loss and damage taken was actually horrible. After I was done upgrading my gears, I went to the sewers after freeing the prisoner, and he led me away to the dungeon where we could find Dagger, the warlord.
Kingdom awaits within, and all the rot that comes with it.
We were now at a place called the Black Trench, where sewer monsters lie await. It's basically some mutated rats, some leeches, some mutated humans, some parasites. You know the mutated monsters. I don't know what's in the sewers, but it makes everything look scary. And this is what I mean by the stamina loss and damage taken is horrible, because I can't fight back. My stamina bar doesn't regenerate. I don't know, it depends on the damage, I guess, but it's not regenerating at all. It takes quite a long time for it to regenerate. I can't fight back at all with no stamina. And there it goes, it regenerated. But if I get damage, then oh my god, I need to, replace these 2 items. I can't play with this. I went to town, bought another helmet and an armor, and tried to enhance it, see if we can get something better. Stats are pretty decent, except I really hated the focus half. And for the helmet, good thing it's just blue, and the stats are pretty good actually. Armor and focus gain. I'm pretty happy with the results. Continuing in the sewers, there were a bunch of puzzles to be solved, a bunch of monsters to be killed, the leeches and the mutated humans. See, these guys are very dangerous. They can 2-shot us. And naturally 3-shot, but well, yeah, they're pretty strong. Honestly, hoping I could tank it since I have a full plate armor set. Or I think this is just mesh armor. But still, it should have a pretty decent armor. But still, I die in one combo from these guys. They're really scary. I hate them. I just need to dodge and, attack from a distance in order to survive. I continued my journey and faced off with the War Room's boss again. But this time, I think it's weaker than the one at the War Room. And I totally forgot how to time my parries with this guy. There are also these spiky mutants in the sewers, but it's not really a threat. They just shoot spikes, but the damage isn't that high. It's like one of those enemies that shoot crossbows, and the damage is not really significant, but it still tickles, and you hate to see it. But good thing we have 3% health regeneration and damage health, so I can just get it back. Eventually hated the focus half on my armor, so I decided to wear this droid's cloak, which had like 17% armor and 10% health without the curse of having my focus half. And now my movement is pretty light as well, as I have normal equipment load. Pretty squishy right now compared to before, but at the very least my focus is back to 100%, and I can now execute my skills. I couldn't before, only arrows, because having only 50 focus, I can't really, because my skills require 100. Anyways, after a few running around in the sewers, I finally unlocked the way to the other side. Now we can go to the boss. Good thing I had this item called the Herb Infused River Feast, which increased my maximum health by 30. And that's gonna be very helpful against this boss, as I don't really have armor.
You're sick. All of you. Try and stop me. Keep me from Nora. But I'll save her. Protect her from you.
And with that, we have defeated the boss. No legendary item though. I also unlocked the housing system. Now I can buy a house and buy some chests so I can store my items in. Because honestly, our resource inventory is getting full and I need to store some of my rings that we're not really using at the moment, but it's always useful to have. Alright, so for the next area, we're going to the place called the Nameless Pass now. And in this place, it's a place where we can get some spruce wood, iron ores, and sometimes clay. Clay is pretty rare here. That's why it's better to always farm it in the shallows and Orban Glades because they rarely appear. With the agility ring equipped right now, I'm a pretty speedy boy and I can just dodge everything by rolling. So now again, it's a hard grind for spruce wood. I needed about, let's see here, the smithy, Gordon, alchemy, enchanting, and the woodworks shop. So about 50 spruce woods. About 25 iron ores and 25 clay. And we can have tier 5 shops. So yeah, let's do a time skip here. Because I don't really want to show you guys how I'm grinding everything up. It's just gonna take a bunch of your time with nothing different but the same chopping of wood, killing the same monster. I'll just highlight some good stuff that happens. Alright, there was this garden here full of goodies. There was a tree, but sadly, for some reason, it's a pine wood tree. There's also a digging spot here, but there's a monster here lurking around that you should be careful of. And this thing deals massive damage for someone like us with no armor. So you better be careful of this guy, because if he grabs hold of us, we're dead. But anyways, this place is full of potatoes, draconia herbs, and some berries. The berries are pretty useless right now as we don't have the recipe for it. But it's always good to have. There are also a bunch of these two-handed weapon guys now. There's big boys right here that deals like massive damage. But they're pretty squishy, maybe because my dagger is upgraded and as well as my bow. My end goal in this grinding run is basically until I get every resource from iron, spruce, and clay. And when we reach like the Serum Whisper down in this mountain, that's when I travel to another realm again to grind them up again and then slap it all into the builder so we can start making our tier 3 shops. And here's the Serum Whisper. Now to repeat this 4 more times. I donated everything to Danos and now it takes about 4 hours in real life time before everything here finished. I completed most of the things except for the general goods shop and alchemy stand. I needed like 1 more spruce wood. So I needed to go through the area 1 more time. But at the same time, I also needed a bunch of clay. All the 4 realms I made earlier, which we were grinding on, are now all occupied. By occupied, I mean like I already exhausted all the resources there. I had to make the 5th realm now. And right, I have a house. I bought like 3 chests. I think every chest is like 2 silvers each. I stored most of my goodies like gems and stuff I don't need in my resource inventory. I bought this house for about 25 silvers. I didn't really have any change in my equipment except for a crow ring I found that had like 3% health gain on damage dealt and it only had a penalty of 25% decrease in total HP. So now on the 5th realm, I don't really need to chop some wood or mine some ore anymore. I just needed the clay, so all these digging spots are my targets right now. And look at this, how strong we've become. Each arrow dealt like 21 damage to the boss. Basically just needs 1 skill stab and it would die. Moving on, I continued the grind at Nameless Pass. I only needed like 11 spruce logs, I believe, and about, I don't know, I think I already completed the iron ore requirements for the tier 3 shops. Killing enemies here only required me to shoot like 3 arrows. I got too powerful now with the amount of agility I have right now. So I'm currently level 17 now. I have 43 dex. I'm thinking of saving my stat points for now. So I want to check and see if I'm encumbered with a fully plated armor set. And as you can see, everything in Danos building queue is starting to, you know, build up to tier 3. Except for the Rookery Elevator and Carolyn's Inn, I don't really need them. That's why I don't upgrade them or I don't prioritize them at all. But I still inserted the materials that we might need it in the future. I just lack the spruce wood to fully complete this. For now, I took a break, I slept, and the next day, all the building projects by Danos were done. The blacksmith now sold level 21 gears as well as silver quality tools like silver pickaxe and a silver shovel. I'm gonna be buying the full set here and try my luck on enchantment. And for the enchantment shop, she finally sold the blink rune. This is the one rune I love the most in this build because I can blink to safety. I inserted it on my dagger. The woodcrafter shop, he finally sold a tier 3 bow. It had 3 new skill, the evasive shot, fire arrow, and ice arrow. Both the fire and ice arrow only required like 20 focus in order to shoot. As for the evasive shot, it uses like 45 focus. I infused a bunch of gems to my bow. The most important one was the damage, focus, and stamina on damage dealt. I then upgraded it to the max amount I can, but I was too poor. It was now time to finally continue on with our story quest, as we haven't progressed much since we were grinding the entire time. But the grind was worth it. Now we have more damage than ever. Access to a bunch of facilities we never could if we didn't grind. I honestly just went through this area very easy with my fire arrows now. The ice arrow is also really great, as with 2 shots of the arrow, I can freeze a monster and finish them off with my dagger. In order to progress this area, I need to jump off to 2 cranes. Currently, I'm setting up the first crane we're gonna be jumping off. After that, I went up the elevator again, and I had to like sacrifice a bunch of HP for fall damage in order to get to the next area. I didn't really know how to go to the next area aside from doing what I'm about to do right now. I need to fall down through a bunch of, rocks because I don't have a choice. A good thing I have enough HP to survive the fall, and I could just heal it up. After getting to the bottom, I then set up the crane so I can jump off to the 2 platforms and reach the next area we need to go to. But I decided I wanted to explore more in the area I just recently unlocked first before proceeding to go to the main goal of fighting the boss. Alright, so time to proceed with our quest. Hopping through these cranes. And we finally found the next whisper, meaning there's something relevant here. We're currently at a place which serves as a prison, I guess, for the enemies or the monsters. We're breaking them free so we can kill them for experience. After going through the prison and killing a bunch of monsters, I discovered yet another whisper. Means an event is going to take place. And I was right. A bunch of people are gathered here. I don't know what they're doing, but I think I went the wrong way. Or the wrong path. Because my character just moved on its own to the center of it and looking elsewhere rather than the 2 NPCs talking. Anyhow, TLDR, the Madrigal was looking for someone who can read ancient texts, and we, as a Serum, the ancient warrior, can read ancient texts. So I read the text, it made no sense, I didn't really care, so I went out, explored a different path, which led me to yet another whisper, where I saved my progress here, jumped to this waterfall area I saw, dealt with a bunch of monsters, ultimately finding this area where we fight our next boss.
Some of them begged. Some of them prayed. When we took their eyes and cut their throats. But there are no gods to answer. Not even yours.
Look, I found myself a legendary club. Also, forgive me for the rolling. For some reason, each time I try to shoot a frost or fire arrow, my character just rolls on its own. Anyhow, we finished the quest for the Servant of God. And we never receive a thank you from the Madrigal. Upon returning from Sacrament, I went to the town square, and here the old man gave a speech. I didn't really care about it, but it's basically just encouraging the people of Sacrament. After that speech, I talked to Rowan, and he gave me a book to give to the other NPC in the masonry. I went to the masonry. You can just enter anytime you want. There's really no guarding this place. There was a giant hole underground where we need to go to. On arriving to the masonry, I gave the book to Elsa, and she told us that the secret to opening this chamber is our blood. I offered my blood, and the chamber opened. It was now time to go to the Serum crucible. This is what the place was called. Basically, in this place, you just need to offer up an ember fragment, and with your blood and the ember fragment, it will unlock the elevator right here, which has about 10 floors before we face a boss called the Echo Knight at the end. This place is full of tier 3 monsters, which are really good for grinding. Monsters here are very tough, they're tanky, and they're pretty strong as well, and everything can kill you basically. You just need to be careful in order not to die. So just play safe while grinding on these monsters. The big ones usually give like around more than 200 XP, I guess. They're pretty hard to kill, but with the right CC, it should be killable. And I died. Anyways, I continued grinding this place until I reached like level 21, where I can try and buy another armor set. Basically the heavy armor set. So we have more defense from plate gears. And I will distribute my stat by then to see how much focus gain I really need. I mean, how much equipment load I really need. Grinding here isn't really hard as long as I have enough focus. I just need to buy some focus vials from the potion seller so I can have unlimited arrow shots. Once again, let's just time skip to when I'm 21. I'm level 18 right now. I died a couple of times while I was grinding in this place. I was honestly very squishy, and I hate how squishy I was. But now I'm 19, just 2 more levels and we can have a new armor. I'm getting a bunch of gold here as these guys drop like tier 3 gears, and they usually sold for more than 80 coppers or 1 silver or more. Giant monsters are the one I really love to kill in this place as they give massive amounts of XP. The mages and the lizards are okay, I guess. They're easy to kill, but they only give like around 50. Yeah, around 50. I then went to Sacrament for now. I decided that I needed a dual daggers. I don't know, I just thought that maybe it's way better to grind on these things to kill like the squishier enemies than using my bow because it takes time. I also thought that maybe the Yun longbow is way better than the tier 3 bow as it had the cone shot, which was a very OP. I just needed more focus so I can shoot more cone shots. I wanted to buy a lot, like a good stat, maybe like 10 attack. 11 attack was the best, but I couldn't get it and I'm running out of money. So I decided to just keep the 10 attack one. The remaining money I had, I bought a bunch of heavy armors from the blacksmith and enchanted them and hoped for a really good enhancement. I then bought a bunch of planks so I can upgrade my bow. After all the upgrades, I went back to the Serum crucible. Now I had like 2 focus ring on my inventory. I had a lot of focus and oh my god, the cone shop works wonders. Do you see the knight's HP? This went half with 1 focus shot. Honestly, I had so much fun ever since I changed my bow to the Yun bow. I can now just cone shot everything. I regenerate back the focus I shoot, like the 100 focus, because I have a focus gem on my dagger as well as a focus gem on my bow. A total of about 4%, I think. I believe focus gain back from damage dealt. Pretty amazing. And with a focus regeneration of about, I think 40% or more from my equipments, I'm getting everything back after focus shot if it hits. The cone shot, I mean. I can easily kill like giant monsters in 2 shots. And that makes the grind very easy. The cone shot also deals a lot of stagger damage. I really regret not slotting like a sapphire or lightning enhancement on this bow. Lightning increases the stagger amount of the weapon you're using the attack with. As for the Sapphire, the cold enhancement has a chance to freeze the enemy after enough attacks. I regret slotting the horn-like thing, which increases damage instead of elements. Anyways, after reaching 21, I changed up my gear to the new gears I have enhanced earlier. I decided that even if I had a weight class of heavy, it was fine, and just decided to put all my stat points to dexterity instead for more damage. I looted a bow called the Pale Ash, and I'm gonna extract the knockout arrow skill it has and put it on my bow. I tried it out with a knife and it actually knocked it out, but the damage was pretty small compared to the cone arrow. But it does knock them out, which is very good. But then again, yeah, the damage isn't there and it's not worth the 100 focus. I don't regenerate it back, unlike the cone shot where I regenerate a bunch of them. So I'm probably not going to be using it again. As the grind continues, I finally reach level 22 by this kill. Most of my stat will be going to agility and some of it will be going to health as I need to survive. Currently my health is around 15, I think. I'd want it to be around 20 and I'll be satisfied. I was totally not paying attention that I finally reached the boss stage and I was like, what? Boss stage? Oh my god. I tried out my cone arrow. It's dealing decent damage, right? But since I wasn't prepared for this, I did not know I was already at the boss stage. I actually blinked face up in the area. I did not buff up at all. I died. Anyhow, I reached the boss area again to fight the Echo Knight, and this time, I'm buffing up with all the buff foods I have on my inventory. I was just waiting for the 20-second cooldown. I now have like an extra focus as well. Currently, my focus is around 400, I think. Anyways, boss fight time. I can't believe I actually killed that guy pretty early. Still level 24, but I beat the Echo Knight. Let's go. Oh my god, bow is OP. I even got a legendary rapier. I would have liked it if it was like purely agility, but it's faith and intelligence. It's weird. For the chest reward, I got a legendary club we already have. Did not expect to kill the Echo Knight that early. So I don't know what to do now. I guess grind to level 30. Because I already met my goal of killing the final boss. Now what? Echo Knight was actually a really good source of experience. So I grinded at the Serum crucible, basically grinding him. He gave like more than 2k experience points. And with this kill, I reach level 26. 4 more levels. Level up. Level 27 now. I got another legendary club which I have 3 now. I don't know what to do with this. I guess I'll just sell it. The chest gave me a legendary katana though, but it needed like 26 faith and bleh. I'm about level 28 now and I got myself a shield, a legendary shield on this run. And this is my final run to finally reach level 30 once I beat him. So thank you guys for watching my 100-day video. Hope you enjoyed your stay here. I don't have anything to do in the game anymore. I have completed everything I wanted to achieve. So this is 100 minus 24 days of No Rest for the Wicked. We killed all the bosses. We reached level 30. And yeah, thank you. Bye now.